bookstore and having a show for the name of the Willow, but I'm also showing all the books that I've published up until this date. This table has all the books that I published that are related directly to Japanese gardens. There is Japanese Garden Design, which is an introduction to the history and design of Japanese gardens. There is the Japanese Tea Garden, which is a look at how the Japanese tea garden, the garden that's used for the tea ceremony, developed from the 1500s onward. The Sakuteki is a translation and explanation of a book called the Sakuteki, which is the oldest gardening treatise in the world, from the Heian period in Japan, about 1,000 years ago. Tells how to make a garden in very specific terms. Japanese Garden Notes is a designer's flip book. You can look through it and get ideas. Every page brings up one idea of what Japanese garden design is about. These photographs are from the book Japanese Garden Notes. I took 2 long trips around Japan by train, going north in the first loop and south in the second, and took photographs of hundreds of gardens, and then selected these photographs and many others for the book, each one illustrating a certain idea or aspect of design in Japanese gardens. And Songs in the Garden is a book about how poetry and gardens were intimately related in the Heian period. Again, that's about 1,000 years ago. These illustrations are from the book Songs in the Garden. I painted the background painting on rough Japanese paper, textured Japanese paper, using a white ink like the gofun, the white powdered ink that's used for Japanese paintings. And then Kyoko Selden, who was the person who helped me with the translations of all the poems, she drew the calligraphy. Beautiful hand. This table has all the books that I've published which are not directly related to Japanese gardens. The first one is Dear Cloud, which is an epistolary novel, so a novel that's written in the form of letters, and it tells the story of a creature who comes to Earth and is able to merge with any life form, and then it sends a letter home about the experience of what it was like to be that life form here on this planet. It's a kind of wistful, philosophical book that reminds people of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass and Annie Dillard's Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. Moss is a series of short stories, each of which has to do with that interface, that connecting point between culture and nature. Of Arcs and Circles is a recent book of 25 short essays I wrote that have to do with art and nature and gardens. The Art of Setting Stones is a collection of 8 essays on making gardens, or what the very basic spiritual mindset of making gardens is about. The Art of Setting Stones. And it was translated into Japanese by Kyoko Selden. The title is Ishi o Taten Koto. And that's a beautiful production. The book was made here in Kyoto, designed by John Einerson. These 8 illustrations come from The Art of Setting Stones, and these were done on scratchboards. So scratchboard is a wooden board coated with white clay and then covered over with black ink. And if you scratch away the black ink, you reveal the white clay underneath. So instead of drawing on a white paper with black ink, you draw white lines on a black field in reverse. This is a great place to have the show. Very much enjoying being in this Keibunsha Bookstore for the duration of the show.